Hello and welcome to another one of D's ADD videos. Today we're going to be looking at the example of moles. We already did one where we start in grams and go to moles and to atoms, but we did it for an element, in this case copper. Okay. Now we're going to do it for a compound, and you'll see that the process is pretty much the exact same thing, except for there's a little bit more work when calculating the molar mass than just looking up the periodic table weight if you're doing a compound. So let's see it in action. Always start with what you have, multiply by the conversion factor. In this case, we're going to go molar mass of carbon dioxide on the bottom to 1 mole of carbon dioxide. And if you were to add those up, you would get 44.01 grams of carbon dioxide. Where do I get that from? Well, if you look over here on your table, you have copper, which is 12.01, and then we have 2 oxygens, which is going to be 15.999 or 16. So if you were to take 2 times 16, you'd get 32 plus 12.01 gives you 44.01. That's the formula mass for carbon dioxide, aka the molecular mass. So basically at this point all you do is you multiply, or in this case actually divide. So you bust out your handy dandy calculator, which I'm doing now, and you do 32 divided by 44.01, and you're going to get 0.7271 moles of CO2. And again, if we're doing sig figs, let's say that this is 2 sig figs because it's a measured value, we would have to stop at this 2. So because that's a 7, it would be 0.73. Just a little practice on sig figs. Remember, the rule for multiplication is you take the least number of sig figs that's given in your problem. All right, so in this case, if we want to go to atoms, you would take that one step further, and you would end up multiplying by Avogadro's number, just to show you the complete calculation. Let's say you weren't given moles in the first step, and this was a question right away. Then you would have to first go to moles, because that's your SI unit for the amount of stuff that has this many atoms of Avogadro. But first we have to do the 44.01. And then the SI unit conversion to Avogadro's number from moles. That's what allows us to go from moles of carbon dioxide to Avogadro's number. And then if you were to do that, you would get, let's see, 4.377 times 10 to the 23rd, and of course it goes on and on and on. I'll just stop there because I'm about to round it to 2 sig figs, which would mean stopping here, and that's a 7, which is greater than 5, so it should be 4.4 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, and that would be atoms of carbon dioxide. So you can see the work for compounds is pretty much the same thing as the work for elements. You just have to do one extra step in finding the molecular mass of the compound. Okay. Usually you could just look it up. If it's just copper, for instance, you could look up on the periodic table, but this is copper and 2 oxygens, so you have to do a little extra. So practice those, make sure you got it down pat. You can see it's not too bad, and make sure you check out the remaining couple videos that will have the beginning be atoms, and then we'll be going back to either moles or to grams. I hope I've cleared up any confusion you might have. Thank you and have a nice day.